Buzz off, nigga.
It's your boy, Boss Man Ticket. What's happening?
Yo, it's King Marco in the building. Here to give y'all boys some game on what's going on in the world. And in the world, what's going on in the world right now? We're gonna talk about Dr. Dre and him getting a divorce. Now, he's been married 24 years. She's asking for $2 million a month.
Mm,
What you think about $2 million a month? You think that's too much for that?
that's quite steep. How much is this man making?
Shit, he worth $1 billion.
2 million a month. That's 24
24
million a
million.
year.
Yeah.
Wow. She trying to get paid athlete money on this motherfucker.
You don't think she deserves it? 24 years?
How many kids they got? Probably all
No,
of them
they
grown.
grown. They grown now. It don't
So
matter how many
basically,
kids they got.
ain't none of this for the kids.
No,
This just for her pocket.
correct.
Nah.
24 years? 24
That's
years
crazy.
don't count?
What would you give her?
I mean, she was there for 24 years. I mean,
You would give her 2 million a month?
you gotta look at it from this perspective. Although they have a prenuptial agreement, okay, they have a prenuptial agreement. She claims that Dr. Dre ripped it up, but I guess he never went down to the court to get it to rip it up officially. So I guess the prenup is still intact. So whatever that prenup says back then, 24 years ago, Dr. Dre wasn't worth the money that he worth right now.
No.
Okay,
So it would be in his benefit to go with that prenup, wouldn't it?
correct. He wants the prenup to stand. Dr. Dre wants the prenup to stand because he's gonna be out of a whole lot of he won't be out of a whole bunch of money. But in her defense, Dre didn't have the money that he got right now. He just recently received that money that he got about maybe about 6-7 years ago.
When he sold
when he
Beats
sold
by Dre.
Yeah, when he sold the Beats by Dre.
Yeah.
So I mean, in a court of law, he's probably going to win. But I'm just saying, from a decent person perspective, she kind of deserves more than what that prenup says. Okay, because I have to be honest with you, when she married Dre was kind of broke, man. Dre didn't have no money like that. He left Death Row. So, he left all that music behind because, people said he wasn't doing it no way. So he showed the hell wasn't about to keep on getting paid for some music that he ain't really do.
So do you believe he was doing the music at Death Row?
No, he was ghost producing. I think other people was doing beats. Daz was doing beats, and whoever had a hot beat, he would kind of talk them into letting him put his name on it instead of their name on it. And
so this man wasn't behind the boards on nothing.
He was behind. I believe he was behind the boards on some things, but as far as like making all the music and everything, I don't believe he produced all of Snoop Dogg's album. I don't believe that at all. Okay, the first album, Doggy Style, I don't believe he produced that whole album. I think he produced a few songs, but when Tupac said that Dr. Dre worked in years, he wasn't lying at that point. There was probably some truth to that. Okay, so Death Row, Suge Knight and them, they don't mind Dr. Dre being a ghost producer, him slapping his name on a beat because Dr. Dre's name sells itself, right? So it's in the best interest for Death Row to have Dr. Dre.
It get a beat a little more credibility because Dre produced it.
Correct.
Yeah. So he lending his name for the credibility plus getting a piece of the action. So it works for everybody.
Correct. Okay, well, it don't work for everybody. The person that made the beat, he getting screwed.
Which was Daz some of the time.
Okay, he was getting screwed. Okay, they might have gave him some upfront money, but after that, he ain't getting no more money after that. He wasn't getting no residuals from that. Dr. Dre's name was on that beat. I guess because Daz was saying that that Dr. Dre was trying to claim that Got My Mind Made Up beat. You know what I'm saying? Daz did that beat, and Dr. Dre was claiming that he did that beat. and that's where
That
Tupac
didn't sound
went
like nothing that Dre would have ever did right
would have
there.
ever did right there. But he was using he was gonna use that beat as the beat that he did. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess that's where him and Tupac fell out, and that's probably where Tupac found out that Dre had been working because I guess Daz had already played that beat for him, and then Dre came out and said that he did the beat, and so that's when Tupac found out that Dre ain't been working, Dre ain't been doing nothing, he been ghost producing the whole time. So moving forward, fast forward to him leaving Death Row, he didn't have no money. Dre was kind of broke. He didn't have no residuals coming in. Whatever money he was getting at that time was, basically advances from Jimmy Iovine. I guess him and Jimmy Iovine was close enough to where he was basically supporting Dre to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Dre didn't have no hit records at that time between 97, 98, 99. Dre ain't worked in none of them years. He didn't work till the Chronic 2001, right? So he left
So
Death
so
Row.
so basically, he was getting advances from dude or something.
Yep, he was probably getting advances, and he probably was getting work for certain things. But when he left Death Row, he put out that one album, and that flopped. Okay, that really didn't make that much money. So from 96, 97, 98, 99, so 5 years after he leaves Death Row, Dre wasn't making no money. You know what I'm saying? He was not making any money. He wasn't producing like that at all. He wasn't normally a person who leaves a record company. They're gonna try and find as much work as they could possibly find until they get their next situation. But Dre was the total opposite. Dre wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't working still. He didn't start working till 2000.
So why would he just sit stagnant that long? What was he doing? Cooking up a new style or something? But he
Uh,
don't produce no damn way. So
Dre is a lazy
looking for some new
producer.
talent.
Nah, he's a lazy producer. You know what I'm saying? He's the kind of guy that will spend 3-4 months on one beat. Okay, he'll spend 3 or 4 months on one song.
Do it sound like it when it's done?
I mean, the shit that he was doing in his early days, yeah, probably so. But you know what I'm saying? It don't take 3 or 4 months to do one song.
Nah.
Okay, it don't take that long. He was trying to get one. He was still spending time on one song, and that's why their catalog was kind of light at Death Row. They wasn't pumping. They wasn't doing
And the
assembly line.
Tupac would have never mixed
Nope,
anyway.
they would have never mixed because Dre worked. Think about it like this: going back to his days at Death Row at Ruthless, he dropped Michelet, and that album sold well, right? Michelet's
Yep.
album
Yep.
sold well. That did real good on the R&B charts. But you never heard another Michelet album again.
Why? Why is that?
Because Dre was the mastermind behind it. Okay, and they said that Dre gets bored after, he doesn't like doing like repeat albums. Okay, he don't work. Dre does not work at all. Okay, he just don't work. He should have been they should have been pumped out. A real producer would have pumped out Michelle damn near a year or two later, because she sold like damn near 2-3 million copies with that album went platinum. Okay, you would think that Michelle being a female singer and having that hit record, you would think that
It would have motivated
they would
him to
double
go
up
back to the lab and want to cook up some more.
cook up some more, but it was the total opposite. He moved on to something else. Okay, so overall, Dr. Dre wasn't working. He ain't never really worked. He's almost like Michael Jackson to a certain degree. You hear from him every now and then, but you don't hear from him on a regular. At that time, he ain't work. So when he leaves Death Row, he's broke. Okay, he's broke, and he's married this woman. Okay, so there were some struggle years in the beginning of their marriage. Okay, there were struggle years. And Dre knows that there were struggle years, because you got to think about it like this: she's married to him, but he got about 5 other kids outside of this marriage. You know
Oh,
what I'm
he
saying?
does?
Yeah, he got a whole bunch of kids outside. Dre got like 8, 9 kids, man.
So how many kids did he have with her? 3 or 4.
Probably like two, maybe three, maybe two or three. I'm not sure. Okay,
Damn.
but he got like eight kids, man. Okay, so
That's crazy.
his money was funny. And from 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, he needed that 2000, that current 2001 to go. He needed that album to go, and he needed to go on tour to get this money, which is what he did. He put out that current 2001, and then he went on tour, okay, to get his bag right. And then Eminem took him to a whole nother level. Okay, those two
Oh yeah, I
things.
forgot. Yeah, he
Okay,
was
those two
behind that.
things, but that wasn't until 2000. Okay, that wasn't so those 5 years after he left Death Row, money was funny and change was strange. Okay, and so this woman was there. Most women would have cut out on his ass. You know what I'm saying? Most women would have cut out. They 5 years,
But believe she didn't bring no bread to the table. She just probably stuck with him. She didn't have nothing to bring to the. He had to go get advance from Cuz, like you said. So
but still, 24 years, and I'm sure
some
that
of
she
your
put.
shit.
I'm sure he put her through some shit in between them 24 years.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So
Okay,
what you saying? She deserved a 2 million.
she probably deserves some of that money. I'm gonna have to be honest with you on that.
So what would you give her per month?
I wouldn't give her per month. I would figure out a way to
A
do
lump sum
a
and
lump
be
sum
done with it.
and be done with it.
So what type of lump sum you land on?
Depends on how much money how much I'm worth. If I'm worth a billion,
Yeah.
I'll probably, for being with me for 24 years, if I'm liquid or with a billion, I'll probably cash her out 75 million. That'll be fair. I think that's
Yeah.
fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
I cash her out 75 million, give her a crib, you know what I'm saying?
And
Give
you
her
will
a
give her
crib.
a house?
Yeah, I would. They got
Cars
properties
too?
already. Yeah. They already got properties. So you let her walk away with a couple pieces of property and a couple cars and tell her to go on about her business.
So a couple cars, couple houses, and 75 and skedaddle.
Yeah, that's what I would say. That's fair.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
very fair.
Okay, that's fair. Okay,
But
now
do you think Drake want to come off of that?
hell no. I ain't gonna even lie. I have to give Dr. Dre his motherfucking credit. He be one hell of a pimp if he ever wanted to be a pimp. He don't give these bitches nothing. Okay, these bitches get lost, get lost in the sauce, man. None of these women that Dr. Dre has ever dealt with can really say they got a fair shake out of this guy, man. I ain't gonna even lie. Dr. Dre's a pimp. I give him that. He ain't letting these women take him up top when it comes to the money. When it comes to the cash, he's living his life like that one song, like how people say that Tupac never got out of that Bishop role. Okay, his role, Dr. Dre's role, is one less bitch. For on off the NWA album, off the Niggas for Life album. That is the role that Dr. Dre has never left. Because he ain't. I'll tell you right now, he trying to put this girl in jail. He trying to put his ex-wife in jail right now, man. The LAPD is got this girl under investigation for stealing $300,000 out of one of his business accounts. He trying to put this girl in jail.
Do you think she did that?
She probably took the money, but that tells you know what that says. It says that Dre is
She ain't
leaving
giving
her.
her shit.
Dre is leaving her stranded. Stranded to the point where she's sitting out there.
She was
Where she's sitting
desperate.
out there
She had to go for what she
taking
knew.
300,000. Yeah. That's just that shit's fucked up out here. Dre out here. He leaving these hoes out here in the cold. No sweater, no shoes.
But
Okay.
he probably will tell you some stories about that woman that might make you think of her a different way.
Yeah, man, that might be true. That might be that might be
Believe
true.
that.
That might be true. But in the end, to have a good conscience, you gonna have to cash her out.
Yeah, I'll
Like,
give her a few all. I'll give her a
okay,
few all.
okay, you got to cash her out. Even if she did do some fuckboy shit, you tell her, hey, even though you did some fuckboy shit, I'm still gonna give you this money. You just gone. You make sure you sign this NDA because you ain't writing no book on life, on what life is like with me. I'm gonna give you this money, and you gonna sign this non-disclosure right here, and that's it. Or we can go to the letter of the law and use the prenup. For him, he probably need to just go ahead and pay this woman and get her out of his hair. You know what I'm saying? Because this can get, that you never know how this shit gonna turn out in the courtroom, especially when you're dealing with a woman going into the courtroom crying and talking about how destitute she is and everything. You know, anything can happen in that situation. And in the end, the lawyers is gonna be getting paid. Drake gonna be paying out the ass and lawyer fees at this point too. So me personally, I would try and get rid of this shit as fast as he can and cash her out. The good thing is he ain't got no child support to deal with. They be all up his ass with that shit. So I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna side with the woman a little bit on this one.
But
Uh,
believe it, it's some dirt somewhere. But you just giving her the money because she been down with you for a quarter for 25. So
yeah,
you just gonna go on to cash her out.
and she the mother of your children, and you got to make it look halfway decent. You know what I'm saying? You got to make it halfway decent. But Dre, he thinking otherwise right now.
One thing
So,
about these rich niggas, they don't like parting with that money.
shit, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. There's some lot of lame rich niggas in this world, man. These niggas out here is lame than a motherfucker, if you ask me. Dre is actually one of the few that's actually getting over. To be honest with you, he getting over big time in this situation right
So
here.
at this point, they're not even living together, probably,
I
right?
don't think so. No, I don't
So
think so.
is a divorce already filed and everything?
Yeah, they filed a divorce. Yeah, they going through with this shit. This shit going through for sure. But from what I'm seeing, Dre getting the upper hand on this shit. This girl might go to jail.
I doubt if she go to
I
jail.
don't know. They investigate. They got the LAPD on her as we speak.
You know what this is? That's a negotiating tactic too. He'd be like, "Look, you better take this whatever money I'm trying to offer you and go on some damn where."
Well,
That,
she,
that that's what this is probably. He trying to get all the shit he can get on her, where she gonna have to cash out for pennies on a dollar. That's what he trying to do.
well, I don't know. From what I'm seeing, this shit ain't what's popping. Dre is. I got a man. Like I said, he a pimp. He pimping these hoes. He ain't giving these bitches nothing. Not one red cent. He leaving her out on the cold. Real. He don't even give a damn that she had his babies or nothing. That shit don't mean a damn thing to him. He leaving her out stranded on death row, literally stranded on death row. This girl out here stealing $360 something thousand out the accounts and everything. Desperate. And now he asking for receipts. He got his lawyers asking for receipts saying where you spent that money at. So
Damn.
so yeah, this shit getting real nasty with him. He ain't letting up with that cash. He ain't letting it up. He holding up to that pre-number. I'm just surprised that
So okay. So the 300 gone. What's gonna happen? She gonna go to jail for spending it. Obviously, not. She ain't going to jail. Think motherfuckers do that white collar shit. 300 ain't nothing in the white collar world.
yeah, but
That's entry into the game. That's a probation.
maybe so, but they could make take it out of whatever money she's supposed to get out that prenup. I guess maybe that's what they'll do. But I don't know. I really want to know how much that shit is, man.
He must really hate her for some reason.
What you mean, hater?
Cause think why won't he just cash her out? Cause think Michael Jordan, he cashed his wife out.
She
He
kept
said,
she kept renegotiating her prenup.
"Who?
Michael Jordan's wife. She was renegotiating because you can renegotiate your prenup while you're married. They call it a post-nuptial agreement. Okay, and so you
Wow.
can you can renegotiate your prenup. So as the years went on with Michael Jordan and his wife, she kept on renegotiating that contract. Get out of here.
that that's like a fucked up situation. That's a fucked up conversation to be having.
What you mean?
Oh, we gotta go redo the prenup. Like it's like, is you looking for this shit to be over? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is we
Well,
this is a conversation I don't like having right here. You know what I'm saying?
well, as the bag gets bigger, the deal got to be
She wanted more of a cut.
correct.
She don't give a fuck if it's a nickel bag on the park
Yeah.
bench. She
Oh
won't in.
no, you want in? Hey, listen, marriage is business, man. It's a business deal.
But
Anytime
still.
you got to sign your fucking name on a dotted line to do something, this is business. Okay, this is business. You got to get a marriage certificate before you walk down that aisle.
So that's your LLC certificate
Yeah,
right there, huh?
yeah. You got to sign your name. Okay, you got to sign your fucking name. This is a business deal. No matter how you want to look at it. People, men go. Dre, he's one of the rare few, and I'll give him this. Okay, most of these niggas be going into their marriage with no prenup. These rich niggas be going in there with no prenup.
He didn't
Dre,
even have shit like that, and he was
nope,
already like, "Motherfucker, you ain't walking off with none of this, right, Chun? You ain't
no,
walking off with half of
no,
this."
you ain't walking off with half the bag out here. Okay, you ain't walking off with half the bag at all. Now with Dre, you ain't.
And he
Uh,
didn't let her do that post nut shit either. She probably was trying to do it. He said, "Nah, I don't play like that.
might not
We
have.
stick it, we stick it to the script of that first shit, and
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
And I
So
don't even want to pay that. That's what he on."
yeah, he don't want to pay that for real. For real. I don't. He want to give her nothing. I don't know what she did. She must have did something real bad to
Oh
him.
yeah, she was fucking and sucking on something. Believe that. Trust and believe that. He found out, and he probably was doing it too. But he like, I bring the bills. I fry the bacon and the eggs and everything in this motherfucker. Hey, I can do that. Hey, just like I pay everything and take care of everything in here, everything you want, you got. Because of me, and you can't do that for me. It's certain shit I can do that you can't do. You know what I'm saying? That's how this shit work.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta let her know that.
Well, don't
I
disrupt.
mean, if she want to step out of line like that ain't how this work around Chum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she went against the rules, and he probably said, "Fuck that." But you fucking so no, hey.
So you think
You
that's
ain't
what it
supposed to go
was,
ahead
huh?
and do that. I mean, that's what I mean. This is what I'm guessing. I don't know who the one that filed for the divorce, him or her.
I think she did. She filed the divorce. So I'm wondering. I'm wondering, was that? She probably got another dick in her mouth. She probably do.
For sure.
She probably got something in her
He
mouth.
do too.
You think you do, huh? No, you ain't cool, man. Why you throwing him under the bus? Why throw Dre under the bus like that, man? Shit, man.
Yeah, I think your boy Mike, man. I don't know. See, that's the part that he gotta pay, because she might come out and tell some shit that might not be favorable for that man.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
That's why he gonna have to grease her palms as much as he don't want to, because he do not want her to start letting the cat out the bag, because there's already some rumblings out here.
Yeah.
And if she confirms some shit, it's gonna get real ugly.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna want to peek his head out.
No, yeah, Dre better pay that motherfucking bread,
But
boy.
believe it or not, the people in the industry know what's up with him. It's just that we don't know for sure. You know what I'm saying?
She might have receipts. That's the problem. I hope she ain't got no motherfucking receipts. Because if she do,
but like this, if she did, he'd be willing to pay, I would think, quicker, I would guess. Because if she got some receipt shit, he definitely want to cash her out, I would assume. He don't want that shit to get out here.
They better cash her out. Shit, because women like the women, they fight dirty.
That's probably why I trying to get her in jail. You ain't about to even be out here to tell what the fuck you know about me. That motherfucker, she knows something. Yeah, she definitely got some dirt on that nigga. Believe that. Because I think that nigga might fuck around and go the other way.
He might swing. She might be swinging for the fences on that motherfucker, huh?
Yeah, he might be on some other shit.
Right on the other side, huh?
That's what I mean. It's what you think? You think he is?
I don't know, man. It ain't looking good. That's what I say. It ain't looking good. He never looked right. When I saw when they did that documentary on him in that damn on that him being on that tour. He looked a little suspect on that one. I ain't gonna even lie. He looked a little suspect. I have to
I
admit.
think you said who was taking care of him when he wasn't making no albums?
Jimmy Iovine,
That probably was his boyfriend.
probably they stuck to the hip.
Oh, I believe
They
that. They done
they
did
stuck
some
to the hip
things
for
too.
real. Yeah, they stuck to the hip for real. Damn it.
So that's who he went in business with the beats too.
Yeah, sugar. You hear me? My cord right there. Um, come on. My thing about to go out. My thing about to go to juice now. You said what now?
That's who he that's who he did the Beats by Dre with, ain't it?
Yep.
So they end up getting some bread together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they was getting big money together. Oh yeah, big money. They been getting money since Eminem, boy. Getting big money. Thank you. Yeah.
And you said how many years did he take off without doing anything?
Shit, he took like 5 years off. That boy wasn't doing nothing for 5 years. He ain't worked and did nothing. He ain't worked in years. So that
So you
boy,
mean he was taking care of him that long?
he had to be. He had to be. Dre was probably in the hole, probably about $10 million with Jimmy Iovine, probably
Why would he float him like that?
because Dre was a sweet producer. He's a super producer.
He just figured he was gonna get him on a double back.
Yep, he's gonna get him somewhere. Dre was working for Interscope at the time, and Jimmy
But he,
Iovine was
he but he gonna front him that long, 5 years. I ain't gonna produce nothing for you. I'm just gonna chill for 5 years, and you just go keep on pumping money in my pocket.
probably. You know how much money they made off of Dr. Dre? Shit, they made millions off that dude, man.
But
They
it's
was
like a
still
record company wouldn't have that kind of patience. We dumping $10 million or so on you, and you ain't produced a motherfucking thing. It don't sound like the record company got that much sympathy or that much love for somebody.
well, it was some reason why he was bad.
That's a cold business. You know that.
Yeah, I know. There was a reason why they was paying him, but they was keeping him afloat. It wasn't.
I
It
want
wasn't.
one so. And you said this nigga really wasn't even like really his whole thing was so when Drake going to the studio, was it ever beats where he sit down and made the whole thing from the drum machine, the keys?
Nope.
So he never produced a whole beat
Nope.
from scratch.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Never in his life. None
Nope.
of this shit. Even
He's always
NWA
had.
days.
Think about it. Okay, let's go back to Dr. Dre. At Ruthless, he was with DJ Yella, right? It was him and DJ Yella
Yeah,
on behind the boards. It
Yellow
was
was
him and
making beats.
they were behind the boards. Dre would make the beats and like all the samples was all DJ Yella. DJ Yella was cutting the samples. Dre was putting it all together. Dre would do the drums and the clap and the snare and everything. He'll do all that shit. But then when it comes time to constructing the beat, DJ Yella and Dr. Dre was doing that together. Yella was cutting all the samples and mixing them all in because NWA ain't know what a big ass sample. Okay, all their beats was like big ass sample. Like they took cuts from different sayings from different people. It might not even been a song. Might have been a speech that somebody made. Might have been Malcolm X or something like that. But they would put all that shit together. So Dre's always had. Then he went from Ruthless to Death Row, and so he got Daz and Warren G, and he got a mixture. Okay, he's got a mixture of shit. Then he leaves Death Row, and he's got Scott Storch and Mailman. He's always produced music with somebody else. Okay, Scott Storch was doing all his melodies, all the melodies that the Still Dre. That's Scott Storch. What else did he have on there? He had down there that whole 2001 was Scott Storch. Okay,
and they talking about Jay-Z wrote everybody verse, even Snoop Dogg verse on there.
he probably wrote the hook.
No, he wrote Snoop verse too.
Snoop didn't rap on that.
Oh well, yeah, everything he said, everything that was said on there,
yeah, he didn't rap on that. Snoop just did the hook. Yeah, he just did the hook on that beat. Okay, but Dre has never produced by himself. He's never done that.
And he got paid even though he didn't touch. So it's probably times he didn't touch no drum machine, no keyboard, no nothing, and
Yeah.
still got a piece of the action on the beat.
Yep. Yep.
So this look at like this though. I'm looking at myself like this. If I'm in a studio and Dre, you saying Dre not really doing nothing. Like, so if you a young Das and Dre come in the studio, he not really contributing nothing. How do you even got respect for him like that? You know what I'm saying? How does his legend grow where you ain't even seen that boy get busy in the studio?
Because what Dre is to me, he is a high price engineer. He's an arranger.
They say he a hell of a mix down man. They say
that's what he is. He's a high price engineer. Okay, he's a high price engineer, and he's a great arranger. He knows how to orchestrate. He could take your beat and orchestrate it and make it sound totally different. Okay, but he's not doing the creativity. Like certain beats, he just take and just put his name on it. Don't do nothing like that PIMP beat from 50 Cent. He paid somebody $10,000. It was an unknown guy. He paid him $10,000 for it.
And just put his name on the beat.
Just put his name on the beat
and everything off that motherfucker.
Yep.
Wow.
The guy sued him for back pay, and they ruled in favor of Dr. Dre.
Because he probably had an ironclad, he probably had an iron tight ass motherfucking contract where on a double back you can't get him.
Nope.
So you sold off for a big time hit for 10 grand.
For 10 grand.
That was chicken feed. That was lunch money.
Compared
to what that song made.
Yep. But that beat right there, that don't sound like a Dr. Dre beat at all.
No, it don't. It really don't.
That don't sound like a Dre beat at all.
This dude don't work at all.
Nope.
So as a producer, he's so overrated. Like Timberland, he make the whole beat, don't he?
No. Scott Storch was helping him too.
But I think Timberland can cook up from scratch. Like when he was doing that Aaliyah, I don't believe Timberland had no help. I think that was all off Timberland's arm. That was off him.
Maybe.
He didn't have no help, man.
They
said they had them boys down. Wasn't it Jodeci and them? Like didn't they come up under Jodeci and them?
Devontae Swing.
Yeah, him. They said they was all down in his basement cooking up. Believe he didn't have no help. That was raw talent. Him, Missy, all them. They came up together. Tim wasn't no Dr. Dre. I refuse to believe
that. No. I would never say that. He's not on that level. But what he does too is that he might have a vision on what the beat wants to sound like, and he'll have somebody come in and play.
Now I give you a little props for that because you thought the shit up, but you just probably wasn't able to execute it. You know what I'm saying? But you knew what you wanted to sound like. Okay, so that's kind of you right there.
Yeah.
But the way I'm assuming, like when he was in there with Death Row with Das, he wasn't telling Das to make something. Like the Das probably was in there doing that shit himself.
Correct.
And then he was putting his name on it. So how can Das respect Dr. Dre as a top producer and he thinking, nigga, I did shit that you got credit for?
Because I'm telling you,
how is you dope?
I'm telling you, he's a high-priced engineer.
So, like in the music world, his respect can't be high. Like to the average consumer, because they don't know the inner workings of it. But just think of the niggas that's inside the studio. Do you think Dre should be highly respected? If he's not really the one putting the work in?
It's like this. I'm not really saying that he is a top tier producer. I'm not gonna put him there. It takes away from him. But it's no different than when we say a certain artist that's got a ghostwriter. Like everybody got a ghostwriter. Like Drake got a ghostwriter.
But Drake wrote his own shit too. And then like with that ghostwriting shit with like that 10 bands, I heard Quentin Miller version. Drake flipped that whole motherfucker. It was like he just basically took his idea, kind of like maybe he just needed an idea, but he took it and flipped that shit so much that he kind of made it his own. I don't really count that, to be honest, like because I don't even like Quentin Miller version.
No, I don't.
Drake changed words and everything, so kind of, I mean, he took the whole flavor of it, but he put his twist on it and then added waves. So like it's not a jack. It's like he's saying that shit word for word, or maybe changing a couple words.
So what if Dre is doing that too? Because he's probably done that too. He's probably taking beats where he hears the idea, and then he adds more to it. He adds stuff on. He has layers on top of layers on that beat. So what if Dre does that? What if
Then
he
you
adds a
you
sample?
you kind of make it your own. But I don't believe he was doing that with Daz. Cause think
No,
Daz walked away with that shit at the end, right?
yeah, in the
He
end, yeah,
wasn't doing that with Daz. Daz was making that shit.
that's
Dre
true.
might have probably said, put this in there, here, there. Now I'm sure he probably did that on some of them beats. I would say that. But for the most part, I think Daz was making 75% of that shit.
Probably, I can agree with that.
So a nigga like Daz don't got the respect for Dre like that. He can't. Because he looking like you ain't cold as me, because I was the one holding this shit down. I
Well,
think that's how he feel as a man, and that's rightfully so.
well,
He put the work in.
but would Daz be Daz if Dre wasn't there though? That's the question.
Only thing Dre was a cosign, which was good for him because if they'd have said beat made by Daz at that time, we didn't know who the fuck Daz was.
Correct.
So thinking it was Dre made it sound that much better. You know what I'm saying? Because we believed it was a Dre beat. So his name, you got to pay for that. I mean, I agree with that side of the business, but overall, I'm saying looking deeper into the business, like this man don't have too much talent.
Okay, but think about it like this: there are things that Dre taught Daz while in the studio. So my
I can
question
believe
is,
that. I can
do
believe
you,
that.
do you believe that
So
Daz
you
would
think
have
he
been
made Daz a more polished producer?
producer? Correct.
I believe that. I believe
Okay.
that. I say that.
So, so
So I mean, then you paying for that too. You know what I'm saying? Because you take those lessons a long way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but Daz wasn't really shit after the fact though for some reason either, was he?
nope, nope. When he left Death Row, it was like he left his soul at Death Row. Producing wise. Because to me, I'll have to say Daz was probably their best producer at Death Row. I mean, if he was doing all that work, which he was, his work for the stuff that he had, he was he probably might have been their best producer at Death Row. In the end, more than Dre. Dre wasn't working. Daz was. So that's probably why Suge did say we don't need Dre. Dre can go.
Exactly. He was very expendable because he was looking in the studio. I'm looking at who working and who not.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, it was simple.
Yeah, it was simple for him.
Yeah.
And that's probably why Dre couldn't leave with that music either.
Hell no, because you didn't make this shit. You might
So
have told motherfucker to put some shit in there, here, there. There ain't nothing to take with you.
and he left quietly too. He didn't argue with that shit either.
No, because he didn't really have his hand in that shit like that. That was free money. He was stealing money over there. He was using his name.
So knowing that, and then after when he leaves Death Row, they talking about how he had to he was the one downsizing. They tried to make it look like Easy E was downsizing, but really Dre had downsized at when he left Death Row. He was broke. They sitting there talking about Easy being broke. I don't know where the fuck they got off saying that Easy was broke when he died. I don't know where they got off thinking that. Okay, because Dr. Dre, in my personal opinion, was broke when he left Death Row. Okay, because they was kind of clowning him about how he only had one car. When he left Death Row. Okay, they
So
said
in that world, one whip, you broke.
yeah, you broke.
So what you supposed to be playing? What, at least get 3-4 of them motherfuckers,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. And he was driving Ferraris and everything at that time. You a super producer. The super producers get paid. Back then, even back then, if you a super producer, you getting paid. Okay, so he basically downsized to one car from what they were saying. They was clowning him about that. And he had put it in the paper that, it didn't make sense for him to be having 30 cars like Suge pretty much. Suge had 30 fucking cars.
He did?
Yeah, he had like 30 cars.
That's too much, man. And you know what? The crazy thing I was watching yesterday, it's like they got the podcast More Than an Athlete with Chad Johnson. You ever seen that? It's like, I think it's Chad Johnson, Reggie Wayne, Brandon Marshall, and the one dude, he got dreads. He was a defensive player. I forget his name. Him too. Light-skinned dude. And Chad was on there basically saying they was talking about money. Like they have one talking about like how the athletes spend their money and shit. Chad was like, man, I lived at the stadium for 2 years. He said, that motherfucker, I thought he was bullshit. That boy act like he didn't even pay for rent. that motherfucker said, he said every jewelry he wore was fake. He said, why do I gotta wear real shit? He said, girls know what I'm worth. They can look and find out. He said he wasn't wasting his money on none of that. He said he drove a smart car. They said, well, you got a Bentley. He said he got it off TV money. He basically said he didn't spend no money.
That's probably why Chad never begged to get back into the NFL.
Yeah, he said he got
Probably
his
got every
bag.
dime, he probably got every dime he
Yeah,
ever made.
he said he cheaped than a motherfucker. He said he didn't have no crew to take care of. He said he came up. He said he came up around the D boys. He said they had money. He said I ain't have to look out for nobody.
He probably got every dime he ever made.
Yeah,
That's
he
probably
said
how you got to be.
he said they had to make him go pay rent. He said he stayed at the motherfucking the complex.
That's crazy.
That is crazy as
Where the
fuck. He
fuck
said
did he stay at? Where the hell did he
yeah,
stay
I
at
forgot.
again?
He said he slept somewhere. He said it was food there. He said they had the TV room because they got the little room for the players and shit. He said
Yeah.
shit. He made that his own.
Wow. I bet you nobody ever did that shit before.
Nope. He said he was not trying to spend no fucking money. He said his grandma taught him from a young age. He said he knew when he got in there, he wasn't about to waste none of his money. He said them earrings and shit he wear, he said he got them from Clary's boutique. And then he said you spend a lot of money on a watch. He said there's like, yeah, I don't spend money on a watch. He said, man, how much time costs? He said time is free.
Yeah.
Shit. that motherfucker, man.
That motherfucker. Yeah, he probably got every dollar ever
Just
made.
think, you would have thought he was a fool. The way he was acting, you would have thought he was out there blowing money. Wouldn't you have thought that?
Probably, yeah.
The way he was carrying himself, but this boy got his whole hand right.
That shit crazy. Living in the motherfucking thing for 2 years. I
Yeah.
wonder was he? He probably was a low pick though in drive, wasn't he? He wasn't that high. I don't think so.
Was he?
I don't think he was a high.
Put it like
pick.
this, he had enough money to get a place if he wanted one.
Yeah,
Believe
he
that.
did. Yeah, he
And
had.
Cincinnati too,
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
he had enough money.
Yeah, you probably was doing that for sure, but
No,
yeah,
he said he was trying to say, man, that motherfucker said, I guess he was trying to stack every motherfucking dime. He said he rode around in a smart. I remember when I seen it because he said he didn't start eating because he was eating McDonald's. He said he never got into all that fancy shit. Cause I remember I seen him when they had that. Remember they had them the Bengals, the Hard Knocks, whatever. He was driving the Grand Marquis. I remember that motherfucker. He wasn't really he bought that life for real, man. And then I was watching the Earl Watson video interview. He gonna be a hell of a coach, man. He got slept on, man. If the story with him was true, man, because he basically was saying like they told him that he had to shoot 23s a game. I guess sometimes when you're a coach, they tell you how you supposed to coach a team, and then he's like, I don't even got enough players to do this shit. They basically tell you to do something and you lose by doing their rules. Like that's not fair.
So who's telling him what to do? Who's telling him what
I guess
to do?
maybe the general manager, somebody up higher than him, basically said, we want you to have the players shooting 23s a game. And he said, I don't got enough to shoot no 23s a game. He said, I can get Devin Booker to shoot 10, but he said, where I'm gonna get the other 10 from? He said, that's the recipe to lose. He said he wanted to play a whole nother way than that, but they made him play this way, and then you fire his ass. He said he got Booker FaceTime with Kobe. And then he said, Book, I guess when Book first got in the league, he said he ain't had nothing but like a Mustang. He said Book wanted to come drive his Audi i8. He said, man, yeah, you could drive. He said, if you wreck it, you gonna owe me a Lambo when you re-up. He said Book didn't have nothing but see, with like that, they could have grew as a team. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you fired this man.
Well, Phoenix was going through probably a transition. They had changed GMs. I think James Jones inherited Earl Watson.
And then he don't get no other job, but the way he's just playing basketball, he'll be more. He gonna be a hell of a coach if he get a chance.
They're not gonna hire him. I don't think they're gonna hire him.
He said, I don't like wearing suits. He said, I like wearing Dickies and Cortez and Jordans. This motherfucker like he a G or something.
Where he from? LA?
I think he said Kansas City. I'm not sure. He said, I hate wearing suits. He said, he said he let Devin Booker go for 70 and they was losing. He said he shouldn't have. He said amongst the coaches, he said like the coach fraternity, like the older dudes, he said they don't like that. like letting a player run it up like that. But he said that was building Devin Booker's confidence. He said, "Fuck what they was talking about." See, he against. That's probably another reason why he won't get the
They
job
don't.
either.
They won't. The fraternity probably don't like him like that.
He sat there and let Devin Booker run it up. He said, like, I guess a normal coach would have pulled him out. But he said he was building Devin Booker. See, you need motherfuckers like him, though. You see what I'm saying? He gonna get them motherfuckers balling eventually.
Well, he ain't gonna do that shit to the NBA. I don't think it's gonna happen. Him joining with him linking up with LeVar, being in that JBA, that was probably a no for him.
Who, he did that?
Yeah, he was dealing with LeVar in that JBA.
I didn't know that.
He was involved.
Wow.
So they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna mess with him. He definitely ain't getting no job in the college ranks doing that shit. Okay, he ain't getting no job.
What was he doing with LeVar?
I want to say he was like he was something. I don't think he was a coach. He wasn't no coach. He was something that's dealing with recruitment of players. I'm not sure what he was, but he was kind of involved with that. They
Was
had
this
him on.
before the coaching job with the Phoenix Suns or after?
This was after. This was after.
Oh.
He was gone. He had just got fired from
and fell right into that.
And fell into that. And so that's what happened. And so that was a UCLA fraternity because he went to UCLA right along with Zoe and everything. So that was probably what it was. He ain't getting no job in the NBA no time soon. I don't think he is.
But the way he could get with the players, think Book and them had that respect. Book coming over to his house, borrowing his whip. See, you building a bond.
Well, I don't think they like I don't think they like their players being that close to the coach like that. That's a no-no. Because it look at people blame Phil Jackson for breaking up the Bulls. You know,
why? Because when they was talking about leaving, Phil leaving, Mike didn't want to play without Phil.
He didn't want to play. They don't want their.
But so what? I mean, somebody got to coach the team. So if you got a man that can stay there as long as your prime players and they just ride this whole thing out together, what's wrong with having some stability there where a coach and a player had a whole lifespan together?
I'm telling you what it is, man.
That's being stupid.
Front management do not want. They want to be able to have straight dialogue with this player without any interference. They want the coach to just coach the team. Now you sitting there having them buying your cars and coming over to your house and hanging out and stuff. They don't want that. The NBA does not want that. That's gonna make
the player go hard for you. He said they used to cuss each other out, him and Booker, but he said they'd come back and be cool. You know what I'm saying? So basically, they had like a brother relationship or a father's. I don't know, like
they don't want them to be close like that. They don't want them to be close like that. The same thing with having best friends on the same team. Best friends on the same debt. They said they had to break up Cuttino Mobley and Steve Francis because they were so close. They said it was too much camaraderie to a certain degree. You know, they do not want they definitely don't want the coaches having more influence.
So they rather the players not like the coach.
I wouldn't necessarily like the coach, but they don't want them.
They don't want them to respect the coach, but not be in love with him. Pretty much, motherfucker. But if the player's in love with the coach, it's gonna be that much more. They're gonna go fight harder for him. They don't want him to lose his job. You see what I'm saying? It's that they're like, I gotta go fight hard for him. It's more of a connection. It's all
about money. It ain't about the basketball.
See that's stupid. That's stupid about as money. Fuck.
They want to have control over the players. Like that's why Jerry Jones Jimmy Johnson wanted Jerry Jones to not talk to his players like that. He didn't want the players going over his head to talk to him. There wasn't that kind of shit. Jimmy Johnson did not like Jerry Jones in the locker room. Okay, he didn't like it because Jimmy Johnson felt that Jerry Jones was more influential, which he is because he's the money man. Okay, he's the money man. Yeah. Okay, so Jimmy Johnson was territorial over his players. He did not want Jerry Jones in that locker room with his having associations with his players like that. The as far as they do not want that shit. That's what I do know. They it's all about money. It's all about control. Al Davis was the same thing. They said that was one of the reasons why the Raiders didn't succeed as much is because a lot of the players when the coach wanted to suspend a player or fine a player, they would go to Al Davis, and Al Davis would tell them to just go ahead and suit up. Don't worry about the suspension. I'll go talk to the coach and tell him that
Wow.
he plays. Tell him that you play. That's what Al
Then
Davis
the
was
coach
doing.
ain't got no legs, man.
Yeah, he ain't got no legs because they can always go to the owner, but the owner does not want the coach to have more influence over the player than him. Okay, your job is to coach. That's why they don't. That's why they really don't like having coaches that's somewhat close in age. Okay,
So,
they don't.
but think Ty Lue with the Clippers. He more of a player's guy, kind of. They
Yeah,
said
but
Ty
he's
Lue will get in
older
your
though.
ass, I guess.
Yeah, but he's older though.
How old Ty Lue is 43 years
Okay,
old.
Earl Watson was kind of yeah, but he's Earl Watson was young. He was like 34 when he got that job.
How old is Earl Watson right now?
He's probably maybe in his early 40s.
Because how
Okay,
long ago was this when he had that job?
probably like 3 years ago, 3 4 years ago. But he got the job when he was kind of young. He was fairly young when he got that job because it was like he was like he left the NBA, he retired from the NBA, and then
He
he next thing you know, he was
41. So he got that job. You said 3 years. He was 38.
no, that was no, he was you gotta understand he coached a couple years before that, so you
He
got
said he was sitting. He said he was on that team, but he wasn't like he wasn't in a coaching position, but he was making $110,000 a year behind the bench. So he said he was there, but he wasn't coaching. He was doing something. I
so
forget what
how
it
old
was.
was he when he first started coaching the Phoenix Suns? That's the
You talking about
question.
when he was making that $110 when he started getting that?
No, when he was the head coach of the
He
Phoenix
said
Suns.
they gave him the intern job when Jeff Hornacek got fired.
Okay, so that gave him $110,000 for that,
No, he
correct?
got 110. He was getting 110 before that, doing something else for the team. He was on the
Okay.
team before that. I don't know how long before, but
It
he was
probably wasn't that long.
he's
He moved up fast.
because he said he was working. I don't know if he said how long he was doing it, but he said he was there, and then he said they was trying to get him to get up, move up, and do something else. But he said he told them no. He said I'll just take my 110. I don't want to race because he said if you fire Jeff Hornacek, I get fired with them. He said I'm not trying to be tied to their regime like that. He said they start getting mad. He said him and whoever this was cussing each other out back and forth. And then he said next thing you know, Jeff Hornacek got fired, and then they interviewed all the people for the job, and he got the job.
So
And then he said when he got the job, they told him we ain't gonna keep you. Some I don't know if I wonder he ended up getting ahead because he said well, we ain't gonna keep you, but we trying to get rid of Markieff Morris, so we want you to make him tradable. So it's a whole nother game inside that we don't even be knowing shit about.
so
He
he
said
was
so,
35 years old when he got the job. He was
so
35.
he was real close to their age. He
Yeah,
could have still been out there playing with them.
yeah. That's my point. They moved him up fast. He must have really impressed them.
He
You know,
know the game. I'm telling you, the way he was talking and the way he thinks, he'll be a hell of a fucking basketball coach.
yeah, but he not. I'm telling you, his politics ain't right. Okay,
Because
his
it don't sound
politics.
like he'll let a player go for 70. He not with going with the traditional system. He a forward thinker. Because he said he see where the game was going. He said so he looking for the four. That's a motherfucker I would want coaching my young team. I tell you that.
Well, in the NBA, they're not gonna let him do that.
He need a young team, just like what he had. He'd be good over there in New Orleans with your whole ass little nigga, but uh, uh, he was good with
So
Phoenix
he,
though.
so he, his last year was 2014, and a year later he was a coach.
Damn.
Okay,
Yeah, he
that's
moved up fast.
he moved.
Yeah, he
He
was
moved.
getting, yeah, like you said, he was getting 114, about a year of that. And then won't move right up
He
to the
was the
motherfucker.
coach. He was the coach. They moved him up immediately. It's like he surpassed all the assistant coaches.
I'm telling you, he got a hell of a basketball
He had a
mind.
hell of a mouthpiece when he walked in that room.
He got a hell of a mind. He know how to talk. He know how to pop that shit. When I was
That's what
listening
I'm
to him
saying.
with Gil, I said, damn. The
That's
way he
what
be
it was.
ta- the way he be talking that shit, then the way he talking about Booker was coming over to us, talking about he was only driving a Mustang. He said you can drive any car you want. He had Booker. Then he talking about he got Booker time with Kobe because he loved Kobe. He told him to get Kobe number and hooked him up. So he was getting Booker. He was invested like yo. It don't make no sense? Like
I'm telling you what it is. The ownerships, they want to win a certain way. And they want to win a certain way. They don't want the coach to have more influence over the player than them. Two,
if,
two. Earl Watson was a player.
and he know that's even better.
No, no, it's not. It's not. It's actually not better because you don't know if Earl Watson was a part of the union. Was he telling them about what to look for in your contract, this, that, and the third as a player? You know, they want you to be blind, okay, when you're in this game. Okay. They don't want Earl Watson being that close. The coach, Frank Vogel, ain't giving Rajon Rondo or let's say Kyle Kuzma, for instance, Kyle Kuzma any advice on how to deal with his contract. Okay. He's not gonna talk to Kyle Kuzma about his contract.
He figured that's your motherfucking
That's
your
your business.
agent.
Okay, yeah, that's your agent. But Earl Watson, if he's real cool, if he's borrowing cars and
Oh
coming
yeah,
over to
they
the
having
house,
they got an intimate relationship
okay,
where they sit down and go to dinner. He come over to dude's house and probably just chill and shoot the shit, and he giving him all the inside game. Like,
okay,
look, this how this business work. It's a business. Yeah, he lacing his shoes up.
okay. So therefore, that's not good for the Phoenix Suns.
But Book gum on his back. It don't matter what Earl telling him. He see it's a certain amount. You know your worth because I'm a max player, and for this team, he ain't gonna get him nothing, no more or less. You know what I'm saying? He gonna get the max money. So no matter what Earl telling him, now Earl might tell him how to protect his bag and look out for the, you know what I'm saying, other shit like
They
that.
don't
But
want that. They don't want him having that influence, man. Also, too, let's say, for instance, Earl Watson. Let's say what you're saying is true, and it's good for Earl for Booker to have a good relationship with the coach. Let's say, for instance, the ownership general manager don't like Earl Watson, and they want to move on from Earl Watson,
it'll be hard
huh?
because Booker wouldn't be the same.
Exactly. Okay, they don't. The NBA does not want him to
But the
be.
thing is, you don't move on if it's working, and because this thing Earl gonna have a relationship with all the team, like they gonna respect him. He gonna have them boys rallying for him. He said we wouldn't have been
That's
as good.
even worse.
He said we wouldn't have been as good at defense, but he said you better be ready to score 130 every night.
Okay, but that's still ain't going. It's still not good for the team. It's not good for the ownership. Ownership
He
they don't want the coach to be too close, too chummy with the players.
he said he wanted Jason Tatum. He said he seen that motherfucker rip 43 straight. And when they was working them out, he said he wanted them to go to 100. It's like, no, we don't want to go for it. He said, man, let him go to 100. I want to see what this motherfucker really can do. He said he seen Jamal Murray. He said, man, Jamal Murray wasn't a good practice player, but he was a gamer. He said, man, how do you get in a mind state? He said Jamal Murray said he meditates to the game to the point where his heart is about to die. And then that's crazy. Like, he said he wanted him just from that. He said, you can't rattle that dude. Jay Murr, I told you he coming.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's a whole other argument. But anyway, that they don't want them players that close at all. You
Yeah,
know,
Earl need a job, man.
he ain't gonna get it. Okay, he
His name
definitely ain't
no.
gonna get it. He ain't gonna get it with no young team because it's already you already said that he like being close with the young players. He not gonna get it with no young team with nobody. They want you to be like Frank Vogel. Okay, Frank
My thing.
Vogel.
What pick was Devin Booker? Was he a high pick?
Yeah, he was a high pick.
He talking about Devin Booker only had a Mustang. How the fuck is your boy out here with all this shit as a rookie?
Who? Zoe?
Yeah.
Because they had different streams of revenue. Let's go with Booker. Devin Booker, where he was drafted. He only 23 years old. Damn.
Yeah, Buck got a long life. He said he was like 18, 19 when he got his hands on him
He
or
was
something.
13th pick. That's why he was a 13th pick. So he wasn't even a high pick.
Yeah, he said this boy was driving a Stang. He wanted to come get the Audi. I wonder, was he letting him keep that bitch for days? He said, you come get any car you want. So he probably had multiple whips over there too.
Yeah. Well, let's look at his contract. His first contract was probably sorry. He probably making like about $3 million a year.
And he probably could have had certain shit, but some motherfuckers don't like to live outside their means. Zoe gonna go broke. I'm telling you.
They must have been getting some money, boy, to be having all that shit. This nigga out here driving a Stang. He must be crazy.
This bitch buying motherfucking
He signed a
Wraiths.
4-year contract for $10 million. That was his first contract.
So this boy bag was light.
His bag was light.
Cause like they said, you giving 40% up. So shit, he was
So
only
he was
getting
making
like what,
1.3
million a year.
million. He was making 1.2 million a year.
He couldn't afford to be balling like that.
He couldn't afford it. I'm like, damn, where the fuck is the money go? 1.4. I know motherfuckers who make $250,000 got more than the fucking Mustang. Where the fuck does money go?
He probably didn't want to live outside his means.
Shit, motherfuckers, you can have 2 or 3 cars making $250,000 a year.
So he could have had that Audi that he was borrowing.
Yeah, I'm like, why the fuck?
How much is the Audi? The Audi probably about 70, 80,000.
Yeah.
And that Mustang had to be about 40 or 50 for real. Shit.
Yeah, but think about it, you making payments. You ain't paying for that bitch in full.
Yeah.
You making payments. So I'm like, how the fuck? I mean, a motherfucker making $250,000 a year can get an Audi and a Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of fishy. That's kind of weird. I don't know how a motherfucker can't get that.
Unless he was taking care of his mama now. But he got a mixed parents. He probably didn't come from the slums, I doubt.
He's from Mississippi, so I don't know.
So maybe he had to take care of some people.
I mean, damn.
But really, Chad Johnson, he would have did that. Some niggas may be frugal like that. Like, I'm not about to spend my money on that right now.
I mean,
it's really the smart thing to do, to be honest.
Yeah, it's true, but damn, you can't get 2 cars making $1.3 million. Shit, damn. I don't know. You're only 21 years old. Shit, how much you got to take care of your mama?
And what he was living in Arizona, and the houses ain't really that expensive there
ain't
either.
That expensive. Hell no. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe something I ain't seeing. But
I just think he was being smart with his money, managing his money. But you just think he still could have been able to afford to splurge more than what he was splurging.
Maybe so. I don't know.
But you gotta take care of your mama. This your first bag. No telling who all he had to look out for it.
Maybe so.
He done extended now, haven't he?
Yeah, he's been extended.
What he getting now?
That boy got a.
He don't need nobody Audi now.
He signed a 5-year deal for $160 million.
Shit.
So
his bag heavy now.
Yep. He signed all the way to 2024.
He can have 2-3 garages full of motherfucking Audis.
Yep. He ain't thinking about an Audi. Audi is light to him now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's light. Okay, he was in a Wraith. That boy was with a Phantom. I think Ghost. He was in a Ghost.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, he was in a Ghost somewhere. I forget where he was at. He was in a Ghost. So
playing like a boss player.
Yeah. So but going back to Dr. Dre, that boy was broke, nigga. That nigga was broke as a joke when he left Death Row. You know, he's sitting there talking about Easy was broke. Shit, nigga, you was broke. Nigga, Dre was broke as a joke. And that woman, straight up,
that woman.
Yeah, that woman. He got shit. She deserved more than that money Dre giving her. Dre ain't giving nobody nothing, boy. But for some reason, that boy always ends out on top, boy, don't he? The only person that had the upper hand on him was Eazy-E, and he ended up dying. Dre wins every time. He wins every time. Suge in jail. Easy is dead, and Dre.
He the West Coast Puffy.
Huh?
He the West Coast Puffy.
Yeah, he kind of is, man. Dre kind of is. He always ends out on top, boy. Dre, I wouldn't play that motherfucker in no poker. I'll tell you that shit. That motherfucker take all your money. You be owing Dre for the rest of your life. Seriously, man. I'm serious about that. I wouldn't play Dre no poker. I'll leave him alone. That motherfucker fuck around have it all. You think you got a straight flush? That motherfucker have a royal flush on your motherfucking ass.
So you pretty much saying you don't believe his wife gonna get shit.
She ain't getting nothing, bro. She ain't getting the motherfucking thing. I don't think she gonna get to the letter of the law, that motherfucker. And that's whatever Dre had before he buried her,
So
which is nothing.
what you think? What you think that shit gotta be worth? Maybe about 10,000-20,000 a month type shit.
Possible. Yep.
She gonna be hurt getting that little shit.
Yep, like 20,000-25,000 a month. That's about all she gonna get, man. Yeah, this shit real bad, man.
He'll wipe his ass with $25,000
Yep.
a month.
Yeah, you gonna hold her to the letter of the law on that contract. Okay. Shit. Dre a pimp. I give him his credit. That motherfucker, he ain't giving the woman nothing. For all them celebrity women that think that Dr. Dre is a catch, he ain't no motherfucking catch. I'll tell you that. Only thing you will catch is a beating. Fucking with him. Literally, you might catch a beating fucking with Dre. You know? That motherfucker, he don't love them hoes. For real.
He was beating his wife?
I don't know if he was. He might have changed his life from that point on. Because they said he don't drink no more. You know what I'm saying? So he cut out the drinking. Because that's what made him abusive to begin with. So I think he cut out the drinking. He lives a clean life now. So he might not be on that shit no more. You know, so overall, yeah, Dre out here, he broke his, he left her high and dry, man. It's just kind of sad though. He should cash her out though. Just to save face for himself, just say he ain't a bad guy. But shit, I guess he got another plan. I just hope she don't come out and start airing dirty laundry because that's where this shit about to be headed to though. There's gonna be some dirty laundry headed out there.
He like a dildo in his booty.
Yep, all that. Yeah, all that. She's probably gonna bring out the boyfriends and everything. Believe it or not, that shit was crazy.
Can Dre survive it? I mean, he already got his bag, shit. So I mean, whatever. At this point,
it ain't nothing. It don't matter. It don't matter at this point. But he threw. You know. But on another note, I was watching something. Yeah, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? The Real Housewives. Period. They said that the husbands do not get paid to be on that show.
Why is that?
I guess the wives. I guess it's all about the wives. They got some funky little reason why the husbands don't get paid, and they be airing out all they dirty laundry on these motherfuckers, man. Be telling all they tax problems they broke, and you know
who broke the husband,
like the husbands and shit. Like they be talking because they be talking about their whole life and everything. You know, it's a reality show, so it's talking about their life. And I'm sitting there thinking, damn, why would these guys subject themselves to this shit for no money?
I mean, I hope the wife is breaking bread, but shit, them hoes probably clutching that bag tight.
That's my point. You know they ain't giving them no money. So why the fuck do you still continue to do the show if you ain't getting paid?
Shit, the wife's probably pimping them niggas. If you want to live in this house, nigga, you gonna do the show. They little do boys. Shit, what they got going for themselves? Them wives probably fucking on them and everything. They like the niggas in the relationship. It's a whole, you know how the nigga run around and go fuck around and the wife just got to deal with it. Yeah, that's the situation they in. They really the housewives.
So you saying they the housewives, huh?
Yeah. Cause believe these bitches out here fucking on niggas and everything. What can that nigga do? He can't go nowhere. Man, and he worse. Tough. He worse. Think about it, bitch. Think if a nigga do that to a bad bitch, she can go hop in another Uber, which is another nigga, and be right back where she was at. See, if a nigga get dropped off, it may not be easy to find a bitch that's gonna take care of him like that again.
Are men this sorry? Hey, are we this sorry now to where we just take this kind of abuse now?
Put like this, that bitch has to be putting something in my pocket and I'm be trying to get something cracking. As soon as I get my bag up, bitch, you have to crack. I'm gonna check that bitch live on air and get put off the show. I'm gonna get them the best rates they ever had.
I don't know how they can allow all these cameras in their fucking house talk about their fucking business, about how broke they are.
I'll boss up on that bitch right in front of her face. right front of her face, nigga. As soon as I got bit, I'm telling you, I go off on her ass.
That is fucking
And they
sad.
want to give me my own show for the performance I put on.
Yeah,
Believe it
I
or
mean
not.
that's true, but they ain't gonna pay you.
Hey, well, you know what? If my bag right, I ain't fucking around. I'm gonna put on a performance where you gonna want to hear from me again. I'm gonna cut it to that bitch live on air.
That's fucking sad. That men this soft these days. Why are men this soft to where they can just get abused on national TV for everybody to see, and in return they don't get anything for it? What the fuck is
He
going
can't go
on?
nowhere.
Have men resorted to that? I mean, men don't have no balls in their pants no more, huh?
He gotta get a bag. Once you get a bag, your boss. I mean, even if you ain't got no bag, you still supposed to have some kind of standards about
Exactly.
yourself. Like I don't know what that
Bag or no
man.
bag, motherfucker. I don't care how much she
Yeah, I
getting.
can't let no woman run me over like
You
that.
got
I'm
me fucked
sorry.
up. I need that money, bro.
I'm a man.
I need it pronto, my nigga. I be telling that boy
And
Andy
then you treat
going, I
me
need that
like
money
this,
pronto,
and I'm
huh?
on air, and I don't get $1 for this
I
shit.
don't
Either
get a
you gonna
dollar.
break me off, or they gonna break me off. Which one?
Shit.
Oh, you ain't getting nothing. I ain't getting on this motherfucker then.
I'm not getting on this.
But then she gonna say, where you gonna live at? Yeah, see, if your bag ain't right, see that's the separator.
I'm like, I'm not getting on this motherfucking show no matter
Okay, well,
what,
get
bitch.
your ass out the motherfucking house.
I was like, I will, bitch. You know what? I will.
All
I'd rather work
right.
at McDonald's than to be under
Yeah.
these conditions.
Well,
Fuck
you got
this
to
shit.
start over from scratch, nigga.
I will. I'd rather start over from scratch. Fuck that shit, man.
How old is these niggas?
These niggas is grown.
How
These ain't
old
no
are they?
young, like 35 and 40, man.
These niggas ain't trying to start over like that, man.
Shit.
They trying to start over off the slab on some McDonald's shit with nothing.
I'm cool. I'd rather go drive an Uber. I'd rather go work at Amazon than to do that shit. For real. Fuck that. Now, what's that? At least I got my motherfucking dignity intact. I might not be in no mansion, but
So
at
you
least
gonna go from a mansion to a
I
1-bedroom,
don't give a
daddy,
fuck. Yeah, if I'm getting
sitting on a milk
yep,
carton.
I sure
in
would.
the beginning.
I sure would. I just because that's where I
It ain't
start
gonna
at.
have to stay like that.
It ain't
Nah.
gonna stay like that. So fuck that. I'll start all over. Fuck that. I'm cool. No problem. You're not pimping me, motherfucker. Fuck that shit, man. These motherfuckers is
I would try
soft.
to get that bitch off some kind of money somehow.
And shit, how?
I'm sure that bitch gotta get this nigga something. But you just gonna leave me hungry this period. You just take care of the bills and everything. So I'm like a kid. I don't get nothing. I don't get a fucking.
Yeah,
I
one of the
can't get.
niggas is like a motherfucking football player in the NFL.
Well, he got a bag.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what the fuck are you on the show
Oh
for?
shit, no. If I had a bag, motherfucker, even without no bag, you not gonna be doing me like that. But if I ain't had no bag, I'm trying to stick you for something before I get the fuck up out of here. You gonna have to
He
give
got
me
his
something.
wife fighting and shit. His wife out there fighting and shit, and he out here looking like a sucker.
I'd have been left that hole.
She out here flirting with the personal trainer and shit. On top of the shit, flirting with the personal trainer, and he ain't getting no. So now he getting disrespected, and he ain't getting no money for it. Shit. Where the fuck is what happened to the men, man? I just want to know what the fuck happened to the men these days. I mean,
they gophers. And these ladies think they on top. They think that pussy is motherfuckers is solid gold. Shit. That's what they think. And these niggas is letting them get away with anything.
I mean,
Because just think if you got some pride about yourself, it's the 100 other niggas that don't.
No, fuck it. That's okay. Good. I'm gone, bitch. I'm gone. I'll tell you that right now.
She gonna say, I'm gonna find another duck boy.
Well, find another duck boy. It ain't gonna be me, bitch. Okay? It's not gonna be me. You go find that duck boy. Go find him. I want you to go find him. Because I want you gone. That's what I said. That's what I tell her. I want you to find him because I want you gone. These dudes that they woman
sucker boys.
That they woman pimp them like this, man. This kind of shit make me down there root for Dr. Dre. Like, shit. Just looking at this shit, it's like, wow.
You don't know what that lady did, but at least she did something.
Okay, well, she probably did something, but He did some shit too.
Oh, most definitely. That's for damn sure. But hey, he who got to go make the rules, baby. You got to stick it on in here.
Well, I just don't know. Looking at this shit, this is the Real Housewives of the Real House Husbands of Atlanta and Potomac. They sorry in the motherfucker, man. I ain't never seen no sorry shit in my life like that. What's the other topic we had going on?
Do we have anything else?
No, we didn't. I don't think we did.
Well,
Let's stop this shit. We had enough
yeah,
of Dr. Dre.
yeah. Well, we will check back in tomorrow. We got a whole slew of things for
Oh, sure.
tomorrow. So
Days tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna
yeah,
be talking about NBA free agency. Talking about if James Harden will be traded from the Houston Rockets. You know, if he is or if he's not. That's what we're gonna be talking about, and we're gonna be talking about other things that's going on in free agency that I think might happen. So make sure y'all motherfuckers tune in, and make sure you motherfuckers like, share, comment, and subscribe to this shit.
for
Okay,
sure.
signing out this motherfucker. We
Yeah.
out.